Yo, ho, ho, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Don Mafia Live. That is right, guys. I'm live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. EST and also at 5:15 p.m. EST, bringing you all of the topics surrounding your favorite football team, the Buffalo Bills, and also the NFL. Shout out to the everydayers. Shout out to the every streamers. I'm talking to the people that are literally in each and every single one of my streams. I see your names. You know who you are. And a special shout out to all of the newbies that are just discovering this channel. Like we have had, I think it's close to like 7,000 new subscribers to this channel for the past, I think, a month and a half. It's largely because I'm bribing you guys, because I'm giving away things like that signed Keon Coleman jersey. And that's one of the prerequisites, of course, is to be a subscriber to the YouTube channel. But hey, regardless, I hope that you join for the contest, but I sincerely hope that you stay because you just love the banter. As many of you guys know, I love keeping my live chat a part of the conversation during my shows. I'm not going to sit here and just yap about absolutely nothing. Have to understand where the fan base mentality is, man. Bills Mafia is doing their damn thing. Now, guys, do me a favor. Please, 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 roll call in the chat. Let me know. Let me know where you were tuning in from. Have to make it happen, man. Can I have that jersey, please? GRV Studios. Hey, man, listen, everybody has an equal opportunity of winning it. I can promise you that. He said he shouted me out. Jesse, I did. I did over on the huddle. I'm sure you ended up seeing that, man. And you are also an everydayer, my friend. You were in here. I did put out a TikTok about Kyle Shanahan that I think you might actually like. Or maybe you won't like it. I don't know. Basically, I'm shifting all blame toward John Lynch and his draft strategy, not setting the Niners up for a healthy future, if you will. Get ready for the clips, and Barrios is greater than Keon Coleman. You are in absolute no position not to make anything but a favorable clip of your boy, all right? Thank you. I did see my boy Flick Shorts came in, and he did make a favorable clip of myself. So let's make that happen. Guys, keep on going on ahead. Roll call in the chat right now. Let me know where you are tuning in from. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. We have the habitual line stepper, Ravens fan. He's an everydayer. What's going on, man? How you doing? New York City is in the chat, rocking with us. North Carolina, Rochester, New York. From New Jersey is in the house. We have Virginia. A lot of North Carolina's in the crib, baby. I'm willing to bet it's Charlotte because Charlotte is basically Buffalo in the South. That is for sure. That is for sure. North Carolina, he goes, oh, man, no, Kyle Shanahan is Lynch's boss. Ugh. All right, well, interesting. At least it'll get some engagement. That's for damn sure. St. Louis, Maya is in the chat. What is going on? Bribe me. Makes me feel extra dirty. 14-2. We have Albany is in the chat. El Paso, Texas. North Carolina. Like I said, dude, Charlotte is Buffalo South. There's absolutely no question about it. We have Weedsport, New York. What is going on, man? What is going on? Weedsport, Eric, hope all is well. I said another one, not the one on Monday, a new one. Don't worry, I saw it, my friend. We're going to be playing that a little bit later. That is for damn sure. Watkins Glen, Bills Mafia over here. It's the home of that damn NASCAR track, baby. Not Charlotte. Joe is saying not Charlotte. We have El Paso, Texas is in the building. South Carolina is in the building. As many of you guys know, I lived in Myrtle Beach for quite some time. We have Brent. I see us losing to the 49ers and Lions in maybe one more game. And the Bills always seem to lose one they should have won, which is very interesting because I can promise you this. That I do have the graphic ready, and we have all of the games that are ahead of us. And I sort of have a take that I think won't make sense at first, but when we start reflecting on what this team has done for us in the past, I think we're going to get that. We have Charleston, South Carolina. I love Charleston, South Carolina. You have no idea. Go Bills from Illinois. Ice Cold is in the chat. What is going on, my guys? Staten Island, New York. Josh or Jim Kelly? I'm going to have to go with Josh Allen. That is an unpopular take, but I'm going to have to go with Josh Allen. Go Bills. How you doing? Who is your favorite Bills player? I'm not going to say Josh Allen because that's a cop-out, but so I would say my favorite player outside of Josh is Christian Benford right now. He is my personal favorite player on the team. Texans game is the one. We have Chris Parker in Niagara on the lake. Go Bills. Chris Parker, what's going on, man? Hopefully you're enjoying your damn Wednesday. Dan, I think we went out. We have Squares in the building. He's doing his damn thing. How are the injuries looking for us? Joe, the good thing is that I have a funny feeling that we are about to be at a full bill of health against the San Francisco 49ers, and that is even including Matt Milano. So we should be as healthy as we ever have been rolling on into week 13 after this bye. I was at the last 3 games. We won the division championship or the division chip. I'm going to be at the 49ers. Is there a shot that we win the East? I think if Miami loses this weekend, and I haven't had an opportunity of looking at who they played. I did it during my picks prediction video. I think we win, actually. Yeah. No, yeah. I think that if the Dolphins lose this week, then we win. So right on the bye, which would be absolutely insane. Dolphins schedule. Let me see who they play. The Dolphins play the Patriots, my friend. They play the Patriots. Go Drake May, pull off a miracle. It's Josh Allen 2.0. Let's go Bills Mafia, LFG. How we doing? B Jones is in the chat. Guys, listen, 132 of you are in here rocking with me right now. 98 of you on YouTube. 33 of you on X. Just do me a favor, smash that like button. Let's pump those numbers up to at least 100 as we end up getting into the topic of today. I do want to remind everybody that this stream is brought to you by BetUS, and BetUS is hands down the number one sports book on the face of the planet when it comes into everything and anything sports betting. I'm talking over-unders. I'm talking money lines. I'm talking point spreads. I'm talking player props as well. And get this, they are matching 150% of your first deposit all the way up to $2,000 as long as you use code YouTube150, and they will also match 125% of your second and your third deposit as well. So something to keep in mind, baby. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this channel. But folks, I am presenting to you the remainder of the schedule for the Buffalo Bills, right? 49ers, Rams, Lions. We have 3 back-to-back-to-back NFC matchups, right? And if we want the 1 seed, folks, because the Kansas City Chiefs, where it stands, they are sitting at the 1 seed right now. They are 9-1. We are 9-2. And they are playing the Carolina Panthers this week. So barring some sort of miracle, I honestly think that Kansas City is going to be 10-1, literally ripping out their frustration, taking out their frustration on a much weaker team in Carolina. So if we want the first seed, folks, if we want the first seed, it is very important. It is very important that we end up hitting the bye week running soon as when we get back. And listen, we're going to be fully healthy. So at the end of the day, there's going to be no excuse. But I'll tell you what, we have the San Francisco 49ers that have been dealing with a CVS receipt worth of an injury report. We have the LA Rams that, I'll be completely honest with you, that defense is fucking atrocious, for lack of a better term. So there's no excuse as long as we stay healthy after the Niners game. Lions game is going to be interesting. In fact, at the beginning of the season, I pegged us as losing to the Detroit Lions. But then again, why am I doing that? I know this Buffalo Bills team, folks. I know this Buffalo Bills team. I have a feeling that we're going to go 14-3. And a lot of us are looking at this schedule and we're saying, hey, you know what, Dan? It's got to be the Lions, right? I think the Lions are going to go out there and they're just going to run it down our throat. Same thing with Jamison Williams. He's going to go off. Same thing with Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's just going to be absolutely ugly, and we are going to be defeated by the Lions. But hey, maybe we can see them again in the Super Bowl, right? But that's not the Buffalo Bills, is it? That's not the Buffalo Bills. This Buffalo Bills team always brings its A game when we end up playing quality competition. So do you want to know what game I have us losing, folks? I have us losing one of the divisional games, the last 3 games within the division. I just feel like that's the Buffalo Bills, right? Now, I would love for us to win out. I think that we certainly can. And I even ended up mentioning this on my earlier stream today where I said maybe it wouldn't even be the worst idea if we did end up losing one on this stretch and not going 15-2. Sure, we would have the bye week. Everything would be firing on the right cylinder at that point. But maybe a humbling experience would do us some justice going into the playoffs, right? Like maybe a close win, like an ugly ass game against the divisional opponent to remind us that we are vulnerable. Because I've heard this a couple of times, right? Where I'm sitting here and I'm saying, we got humbled when we played the Baltimore Ravens. We lost and it absolutely sucked. And then afterwards, we lost to of course, the Houston Texans, where that defense absolutely had their way with us, although that we were missing Khalil Shakir during that game and we had no wide receivers outside of Keon Coleman, who is still sort of, I would say, catching his stride. I think that those losses at the beginning of the season was a wonderful job where our coordinators, our head coach, and this team was able to be brought back to reality. And what happens now? Right now, we end up having the second longest win streak in the NFL with 6 games, folks. We have 6-game win streak. And I ultimately want to thank the Baltimore Ravens and the Houston Texans for bringing us back down into reality. So even if we end up dropping one, we go 14-3, which is still an incredible record. I think that would be the best record we have ever had under the Sean McDermott era. I really, really do, right? Maybe that wouldn't be the worst possible case scenario, but for some reason, everybody in here is chalking up this Detroit Lions game as an automatic loss. I'm not seeing it so far. I'm just not seeing it so far, folks. I really am not. We have Cheesy Pop coming on into the chat, rocking with me real fast. I think our last loss is to the Lions because our run defense isn't that great, and the Lions can run the damn ball. So here's something I have to ask you, Cheesy Pop. Is our run defense that bad? Like, that's a question, right? Because people would look at the box score and they would look at where our run defense ranks throughout the NFL. And many of you would say, Dan, of course. Look at the numbers for the Buffalo Bills. Of course, our run defense is absolutely terrible. But then how I would respond to that is I would say, okay, so what are our run numbers look like when it's the second half of the ball game, right? Or when do our run numbers look when we have all of our DBs healthy and our DBs match up very good against all of the wide receivers on the field, and we have the ability to commit to the run? Because last week we ended up holding Kareem Hunt to about 60 yards by itself. He had a negative EPA, meaning that he was well below average of what he should have performed. I can also look back at Kenneth Walker as well. So what if Sean McDermott is really picking and choosing right now when it comes into this? I'm not saying that we're going to be able to commit to the run against Detroit. We're going to have to pick our poison at this point because they do have some quality receivers, right? They have Sam Laporta, solid tight end. They have Jamison Williams, solid wide receiver. He's super fast too. He's going to be a matchup nightmare. And obviously they have Amon-Ra St. Brown who's going to be going up against Taron Johnson. So I think this game, and I hate to preview and even have these conversations about the Lions game because we're not going to be playing them for another, 4 weeks. So it's very difficult for me to go on ahead and say, oh, yeah, like this is what I'm anticipating. But I have a feeling when we do play the Lions, I think that we're going to pick a poison and basically invite them to be one-dimensional. I think that we would commit to stopping the run, a lot of single high coverage, and let Jared Goff go out there and shoot them in the foot. He had a 5-interception type game, right? I think that's what's going to happen. That's a hot take. I actually have a feeling that we do a wonderful job at stopping the Lions' run game. But like I said, it's way too early for that. Legits, when I look at the Lions' record and scores, they are pedestrian against good teams. I'm with you, Dan. Bills are going to be a formidable test for the Detroit Lions. And listen, if we go 14-3, folks, because I do think we have one more loss in us, and I would be happy if I was wrong, but I think we have one more loss. I'm calling it now, dude. We're going to drop one of the divisional games. It's going to be really frustrating. Hell, you know what? Maybe we actually end up just clinching the first seed, clinching the AFC East, and we just rest our starters week 18. Maybe that's the loss at the end of the day. Who knows? But I just have a feeling that we're going to lose a meaningful game against a divisional opponent. I just feel like it's coming. I think that we match up way better against the Lions than people are willing to give us credit for. And the Detroit Lions aren't the unstoppable juggernaut that they seem, no doubt. And they are a really good team. But if you put lots of pressure on Goff and force him into throws, he will crack eventually. We have 14-3, baby. Big Papa Bill is coming on in. He's saying it. How can I get that jersey? GRV Studios, man. Listen, as long as you are subscribed to the channel, baby, you are in a part of the contest. I pick a random winner. And so I pick a random winner during all my live game reactions. So we are not going to announce the winner until Bills 49ers. But stick around, my friend, because I promise you that I will keep you entertained. Ray Davis and James Cook is good. James was a little sloppy because of the Chiefs' good defense, but as long as we have healthy wide receivers and defense, we will be completely fine. Goff might throw 5 picks again. Maya's coming in. She's making it happen. If we pressure Goff, we will win the game, no doubt. Brent, my guy, is coming in. I'm okay with a loss at the end of the year and to keep the Bills hungry for the playoffs. Absolutely. Imagine, say that we end up winning out. Like, I would say that confidence would be way too high, and then we would end up having a bye going into the season by itself. So maybe, who knows? Dan, let's get all the Bills Mafia in the AFC East roundtable tonight. That is a fantastic idea, folks. I'm going to be live on the AFC East roundtable at 8 p.m. EST. As many of you guys know, that is the debate show across the AFC East that I have been on for quite some time. We need a lot of Bills Mafia in there tonight. Keep my name in mind when you pick that name, dude. GRV Studios really looking for that signed Keon Coleman jersey. I appreciate that. Since 5-pick Goff, I believe Goff will get more INTs during the Bills game, and we need to stop the running backs. Mike D. Buffalo. Dan, we absolutely will not lose to the Pats or the Jets. The Jets are a disaster, and the Pats are a totally dirty team than years past. I mean, listen, I would not be upset if I was wrong, but like, I'm sitting here looking at this schedule, right? And it is either that we win out or we lose to a divisional opponent. I honestly see us winning. So these next 3 matchups, I do. And so I see us winning these next 3 matchups. It's just how it is. Fins for the win. Hills coming in. Different, not dirty. Okay. So losing rate to the Pats and to keep the team hungry, or we lock up the 1 seed and we sit our starters. That could also be a possibility. Do remember it. Marcellus Davis. Honestly, I can't help but think about the playoffs. Me too. That is all that's on my mind, but we still have these 6 games that we need to close out the season with. And it's absolutely nuts too, right? Because who in the hell would have thought? Who in the hell would have thought? Oh, man, that this season would go by as fast as it did, folks. Only 6 games left in the regular season, only about a month and a half of regular season football, man. It's heartbreaking. This season has been flying by, but I've loved every second of it. I'm thinking about getting a Jim Kelly Hall of Fame and a Bruce Smith Hall of Fame jersey. What do you think the price would be to get them on Pristine Auction? So I'll be honest with you, man. Right over on Pristine Auction, I have one of those jerseys behind me. So that is a signed Kelly jersey. I think I won it for like $160, maybe like 160 to 175 bucks, like super cheap, like super affordable, especially for the quality. So we're going to have to play out. Kiwi Bill and Oz. What up, dude? Watching from Melbourne, Australia, as always. Of course, Lions is the only challenge on the schedule based on current form, but hopefully this team doesn't have any trap game blunders in them. Surely this team is more focused than ever. Go Bills. I mean, listen, right? This Lions team has been very impressive this year, right? Very well balanced, solid running attack. Goff has been playing very well, of course, outside of the 5 interception game. Solid wide receivers. They do miss their pass rush, though. They significantly miss Aiden Hutchinson. Since he has been gone, that is a weakness where I could see Josh Allen going back there and having all day to throw. As much as I like their secondary, it's solid, but I think that they can get beat. I just don't see this Buffalo Bills team going out there and having a bad game against a really solid team this late into the season, especially not in December, because I think Sean McDermott's record in December since 2020 has been absolutely nuts. I think he might have lost 1 game since 2020 in the month of December by itself. he absolutely cooks during this time of the year. So not particularly sure. If I win that Keon Coleman jersey, can you also sign it? This dude's only getting bigger and bigger. Gaston, if you want me to ruin the jersey by signing it as well, I certainly will. I appreciate the compliment, my guy. But yes, if you win the jersey, I will certainly sign it as well, man. Thank you so much for the compliment. You are the absolute man. Dan, I think against the Lions, we play man coverage and really get pressure. I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. With the Lions, we're going to have to pick our poison, right? Like, we are just going to have to pick our poison. Do we let them run all over us, right? And shut down Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams? And same thing with their second-year tight end? Or do we commit to the run? And in my opinion, if we have to commit to anything, we have to commit to stopping the run with Montgomery and Gibbs. We have to. And we have to rely on our DBs to hopefully be able to match up with their wide receivers. We're going to have to pick our poison, and I'm going to go on ahead, and I am going to pick to focus on stopping the run. That is what this Buffalo Bills team is going to have to do. Dan, Connor Long, what's going on, man? How you doing, bro? LA Kings versus Buffalo Sabres tonight. Look at that, baby. Let's make it happen. I would love the jersey, but what do you think our chance at the Super Bowl is? This right here is probably the most confident that I have ever been in this team to potentially make it to the Super Bowl. Obviously, I try to be as positive as humanly possible year in and year out. So I've been doing this YouTube thing since 2019. And normally my expectations have always been okay, let's get one step further. I think is my highest expectations ever was making it to the Super Bowl. And that was the year after the AFC Championship, right? That was my year where I was just okay, we have to make it to the Super Bowl. Based off of what I saw against the Kansas City Chiefs this past Sunday night, now my expectations are we're going to win the Super Bowl this year. We better win the Super Bowl this year. That's how highly I think of this team. And barring any sort of significant injuries to this defense or massive coaching blunders, I feel like nothing is stopping us. But again, I like to reiterate, we don't know what these teams are going to look like in the playoffs. They have sometimes some unfortunate injuries that happen all across the league. We need to stay healthy. Particularly, we need to stay healthy right within the linebacker room and right within our corners. Those are the most important position groups that we essentially need to wrap in bubble wrap. That's my entire thought right there. Dan, what people don't realize is, so the key to beating the Lions is forcing Goff to throw and do stuff he doesn't want to do. And so the Texans gave us the key. They just couldn't do it themselves. Exactly. Like I said, when that Lions game does come, we have to commit to stopping the run. And trust our DBs. Because so far with Bobby Babbitt, he's been doing his damn thing. Please get a 2i2 interface and an XLR cable for your microphone and point it at your mouth instead of downward. Hard to hear on earbuds. Just trying to help. Michael, thank you so much, man. Don't worry. I will be making the investment soon, my friend. I am also going to be getting a boom arm here shortly. And yeah, man, we will get an XLR here at the end of the day as well. Dan, I want that Coleman jersey. Buffalo Wings is doing it. Dan, I remember. Dan, so remember last year with that quote you said, and the greatest story ever told. I honestly believe in it this year. Look at that. This might be the greatest story ever told. What position group would you be least worried if they ended up getting injured? So are we talking about multiple injuries or are we talking about one or two? Say, for example, that we're talking about one, then I would be, oh, man. So I'd be okay with running back. So I'd be okay with offensive line, surprisingly enough, especially with the way that Ryan Vandemark ended up playing this past week. I'd probably be okay there, and I'd probably be okay with safety as well. But corner, no. And same thing with linebacker, too. For the love of God, please give me Terrell Bernard and please give me Matt Milano. Please give me Matt Milano and please give me Bernard fully healthy for the remainder of the season going into the playoffs. That is so key. That is so key for the Buffalo Bills to really be able to make it happen. It's So I'm going to go ahead and just hold the mic right here, guys. So hopefully this is crispier for you. Josh Allen deserves a Super Bowl ring on his damn finger. You have no idea. We have Kiwi. By the way, love your work, Dan. You were always honest with your opinions, and you get your predictions right. Ignore those jealous Bills media haters. Keep doing what you do. Let's go, Buffalo. Thank you for the kind words and encouragement, my friend. Thank you for the kind words and encouragement, my guy, all the way from down under. That is my dude, Kiwi Bill. Bill's Mafia Santa Claus, my man, Dan Mitchell. What is going on, bro? Hope all is well. We have Cheesy Pop. I think Brady figured out how to use Samuel against the Chiefs. So I'll be completely honest with you. As much as I want to say that Samuel, right, is going to be like this next X factor for the Buffalo Bills receiving core. See, I'm not sure like if y'all ended up remembering a game a couple of years ago where Isaiah McKenzie went off against the New England Patriots, right? I think we can all remember that. But then afterwards, he quickly went back to being a gadget guy. I would love to be wrong on this. I want Curtis Samuel, especially since I was completely wrong this offseason. I thought he was about to be scorched earth, and it took him all the way until week 11 to go out there and be somewhat productive. And I hate to be negative, but like I just have a feeling that we're witnessing that exact same game. As much as I want Curtis Samuel to still be a threat for this team, I don't think that his production is really going to change, especially when Keon Coleman gets back. Like when Keon Coleman and Amari Cooper is healthy enough for a full workload, like an absolute full workload, then I think that we're going to be seeing what we have been seeing from Curtis Samuel starting now. It's the Blue Collar Bowl, Bills versus Lions, Shakir versus Amon-Ra St. Brown. How ironic both teams are two different shades of blue, too. It's what the American soul needs. I'm sure y'all saw that video, but yes, I believe that the best Super Bowl matchup possible, most valuable television, would hands down be Buffalo Bills and Detroit Lions. I really don't think anybody would disagree. Samuel was running wide open a bunch of times and wasn't targeted. Sergeant Slaughter. Yeah, man, most definitely. I think when it came into it, because we had Kevin on here, it was 2 days ago. So we were talking about Curtis Samuel, and he was saying that he believes that Josh Allen just did not trust him, right? Because so the game against the Indianapolis Colts, when he ended up throwing that interception, some could argue that that was on Curtis Samuel for not running the correct route or not like as crisp. So I think it just took a while for Josh to be like, okay, I'm going to trust you again. And like, he just wasn't looking for him because he didn't know what he was going to be able to do. I sincerely hope that that guy can get back out there and put together that kind of production, because it was so nice to watch a guy that we signed for a $27 million contract for 3 years finally put something out. I was screaming Curtis Samuel's name out there. I've been a Bills fan for over 40 years, and I can say that after last week, my optimism has not been this strong in a long time, not since at least 1992. I have the faith this year. We have Christopher G coming in, and I always love talking to people that like we're in so the young adult phase while they were watching that 90s team Bills, right? Because I was a baby, right? So I was born in 1991, and so third Super Bowl I was still an infant, and the last Super Bowl I was like 1 or 2. So my priorities really weren't with the Buffalo Bills at that time. I was very largely a drought baby who had to deal with Trent Edwards, who had to deal with EJ Manuel, Ryan Fitzpatrick, a carousel of bad head coaches. So I'm glad to hear that that is also the sentiment for people that actually grew up watching those 90s teams, because I feel that way. And that's just based off of like what I have researched. I feel that this team is the best team that I have ever seen in my lifetime, as far as roster and as far as everything else. I thought he was going to go 20 plus. Don't remember before. BC is saying, I don't remember before. I graduated in 91. Look at that. Look at that. Born in 85. Over here, we have Grant Hanlon. JP Lossman. Absolutely, my friends. Was a young teen in the early 90s. And the vibe around this team is that of the 91 and the 92 team. Man, my smile is growing. LFG Dan the man. We are about to win the whole damn thing. I am feeling it. And do you remember Doug Whaley? Yes, I remember Doug Whaley. Great eye for talent, but a trash GM. Indeed, a trash GM. Intermittent Strench. Look at that, baby. Born in 1880. Damn. In 1880. Damn. What's your secret, Maya? 1880. Damn. 14-3. Squeezely W. Yeah, man. I mean, guys, look. So right back on topic. So I do see us losing one more game. But ironically enough, I don't see us losing right to the Lions. I have a feeling. Like, I know this team, and I just know that we are going to go out there and bring our best. And that's going to be the game where Josh Allen cements his MVP award. But any other of these games could potentially be an L. We're going to have to see. We're going to have to see here. It might be a typo. No, it is. I was just joking around. Hey, Dan. So remember last week when you told me to wear my Knox jersey? I thought he was going 100 plus yards and a touchdown. Dude, keep on wearing it, man. Keep on wearing it. Burned in 1965. Seen a lot. Joe, what's going on, man? What's going on, man? Born in 1965. He's seen a lot of Bills teams, man. He's seen a lot of Bills teams. So you tell me, Joseph. So you tell me. So is your positivity for this team similar to what it was like in the 90s? I think that's a fair question, right? Are you getting the same amount of positivity feeling that you got from the 90s team? I'm very interested to hear that. In fact, really, so with anybody in here that like was at the very least a teenager when the Bills went on their Super Bowl stretch, how do you feel compared to then? Is it a similar feeling? And have you had it for the past couple of years, just so that we can put some context to it? Bills fan down under since 1990. Am legit going to be so emotional. If the Bills win the Super Bowl, Buffalo will party hard for months, and I hope you find a way to get up there for the parade if that was the case, my friend. Dan, when will you do the Rousseau giveaway? I would love to win this jersey, mainly because I have been playing defensive end since I was 5, and now I am 15. Julian, man, you know what? I could potentially do it after the Keon Coleman jersey giveaway, because I do want to go ahead and just give you guys like sort of an idea of what else I'm giving away so far this season. So I'm giving away a piece of signed memorabilia per week, starting off with a Benford jersey. I have a Taron Johnson jersey, and I have a Gregory Rousseau jersey. And then I also have a Dalton Kincaid rookie card. It's a signed Dalton Kincaid rookie card as well. And then obviously I have that signed Keon Coleman jersey, in which that I am giving away to one of you during the Buffalo Bills and San Francisco 49ers game. So I don't know, man. Maybe I will do the Greg Rousseau jersey after the case. Feeling way better. Just stay away from the red helmets. Benny does not like the red helmets. He is not an advocate for the red helmets. That is for damn sure. Sean McDermott is 20-10 as a coach for the Bills in December and 8-0 in the last 2 years. I need that Benford jersey. Squeezely W is coming in. These Bills were like the Dolphins in the 90s, and the 90s Bills were more like the current Chiefs. Bills should have won against the Giants in the Gulf War year. They were the best team in 90 and 91. Number one sports fan. I wasn't even a sperm when the Bills went 0-4 in the Super Bowl. He was still dancing around his daddy's nuts, man. Look at that. Absolutely insane. Joe Norris. Dan, what do you think of the AFC West? So I'll tell you what, man, no one in here would have predicted that 3 teams could potentially make it into the playoffs. I love the Chargers. I love what Jim Harbaugh is doing with this team. I mean, 7 wins, especially after that dude like went on ahead and had a fire sale of all of his top name wide receivers. And he brought back a bunch of injury-prone former Baltimore Ravens, like running backs, and they're out there absolutely like killing it. Absolutely insane. And then same thing. So with Bo Nix, like, I'm not sure about you guys, but I was the biggest Bo Nix hater on the face of the planet this offseason. I thought he was going to be buns. He's been playing very well. Bills could win the AFC East in the next 2 weeks. Absolutely crazy. Josh Allen jersey giveaway would be dope. Maybe at the end of the season. Dan, born in 1965, Bills fan since 1976. I am more excited about this team now than I was about the 90s Bills. And the 90s team was great. This team is great and cohesive. Heard it here first. Charles, thank you so much. I appreciate that. This is building even more confidence in me when I hear things like that. I really do. Sargent is coming in, born in 78. And back when I thought, how do we finally win the Super Bowl? Now I'm thinking, how do we finally get to the Super Bowl? Born in 78. How do we finally? So Sergeant Slaughter is feeling a different type of way. He's talking about how do we get to the Super Bowl. So maybe not the same sentiment over there. We have Daddy B. This team is playing with a confidence I haven't seen since the 90s Super Bowl teams. The smiles in the locker room. I think after that Chiefs game, they feel no one can beat them. Winter, Soldier, Allen. I believed in the Broncos. Look at that. Denver is smoke and mirrors. BC is saying Herbert is legit. We have Edward is coming in saying, I say just give the young defensive end the Rousseau jersey. Represent. Ooh, I like that. I like that. I remember Dennis Shaw throwing passes that looked like field goal attempts. Knicks, not Herbert. We have Knicks has been playing better than Mahomes so far. We have Christopher G. I can tell you that I felt good about the team in most of the Allen years, but not in the way I have the last few weeks. That gut feeling is growing. We have GRV. I am a massive Coleman fan and a Bills fan, but I hate to say this, but I am absolutely broke. Hey, man. Hey, bro. It's okay. And so how old are you, bro? And so I'm assuming you're pretty young. Don't worry, bro. And so my boy will get that money eventually. I promise you that. There is a camaraderie with this team that is special. Totally agree there. Born in 1880 and Bills fan the whole time. I just had a feeling they would be created. That they would be created. Oh my God. Oh my God. Rooting for Knicks for Perna's sake. Listen, man, I would love Bo Nix to go out there and play well. And maybe even win a playoff game. Send home the Chiefs in the first round. That would be hysterical. Last week, I was listening to you, and you have Ryan Van Denmark instead of Vandermark, and my dad started burning you. I am so sorry, Dan. Yeah, man, most definitely. I'm just dyslexic, I guess. I'm just kidding. I have never had a great opportunity of being able to pronounce names correctly. That's always been something I've been struggling with. Born in 74, I have a good collection of signed Bills memorabilia. If my name's drawn, give the Groot jersey to the young 15-year-old defensive end. Look at all of Bills Mafia rocking together. All right. I like that. So what do you think? So the plan is for Cedric Van Pran Granger, probably keep him on ice, but I'll tell you what, with McGovern, he's been playing pretty damn good, and he's still pretty damn young, so maybe he just might be like that guy that's a backup. I don't know, man. So when do you think Josh Allen will retire? 7-8 years. 7-8 years. Back when we had Thurman Thomas, enough said. Touche. Mark Cardinelli, I am on a flight coming from Maui. Watching the Bills beat the Chiefs on a beach in Maui was absolutely amazing. Mark is on a flight right now back from Hawaii. I sincerely hope that you enjoyed your vacation. I'm glad that the Buffalo Bills ended up making it that much more enjoyable, my friend. Absolutely insane. It is a beautiful, beautiful part of the world, man. It really is. I have yet to be there, but I certainly want to. Hey, Dan. And the Bills will beat the Lions. If the Texans kept up with the Lions, why can't the Bills beat them? And the reason we lost against the Texans was because we were all banged up. Go Bills. I totally agree with you there. I would absolutely love for a rematch against the Houston Texans. Not sure if anyone else asked this, but do you think that either Kincaid, Brown, or Coleman will be back for San Francisco? I honestly believe that each and every single one of them will be. I think that it's trending that way, right? That, and we'll probably get our first taste of Matt Milano as well, based off of everything. Have a signed Jim Kelly card somewhere. My apartment is a mess. Oh, dude. Grant is saying, I'm just saying. And the Chiefs have a good chance of getting beat before they reach us. AFC teams got fight in them this year. What jersey should I get when they make the Super Bowl with the patch already have in Allen? I'd probably get another Allen, to be completely honest with you, man. Texans not winning in Buffalo. The thing that I hate is that I have over 200 Bills cards, but not a single signed one. Ugh. Grant, I was 6 when Thomas couldn't find his helmet before the game. And I remember my mom flipping out over it. Daddy B, I really hope Milano is still Milano, you and me both. I'll say it. I'd be so disappointed. This is our year, and right before the Bills versus Lions Super Bowl, World War III is about to take off. Wouldn't that be shit? Like, that would be Buffalo Bill shit right there, bro, right? Like, we're like a week away from the Super Bowl, but boom, World War III, right? That would blow. Still play, though. Still play. Dan, the Bills are going all the way this time. I absolutely feel it. Ethan Wong, let's say we don't get the first round bye. What team do you think we match up best against? So I'd be fine with the Chargers and or the Broncos. So to start off with, right? Ideally, I would like to avoid the Baltimore Ravens. I feel like I've said that a time or two, but I definitely believe it. Stay away from the Baltimore Ravens, but yeah, that would be it. But all right, guys, like I said, just wanted to go on ahead and hop on here real fast as we went on ahead and went through all of this schedule, chatted up with my boys. As many of you guys know, I am live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. EST and also 5:15 p.m. EST. So if, for example, that you want to come and talk ball, you know exactly where I'm about to be each and every single day, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, folks. And I will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. EST, and I will see you tonight on the AFC East Roundtable. See you soon.